Hi, welcome to your last observation and activity video. I hope you all survived the blizzard and your time away from the classroom. I know that this week it might be just a little bit wonky to get your remaining hours, given that the students have not been here Monday and Tuesday. That will leave you Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday to get your hours. If you're not able to complete your 15 hours by the end of this week, that's completely fine. I just do ask that you have your hours all completed by December 7th. So take the time that you need to be able to get this finished. Do be mindful of the fact that the students may be going on seasonal field trips. They may be having practice for Christmas music concert, things like that. So just kind of ask your teachers to be sure that you are in the right place at the right time to be able to finish all 15 of your hours. If you are done with your 15 hours, then you're done. You can go ahead and stop observing. However, you do have a couple of things to finish up for me. You will have one final sequence of events to turn in for me and a reflection. And then you'll also have a couple of documents that you're going to need to upload to be able to complete the course. The first one is that teacher evaluation form that your classroom teacher will need to fill out for you. There's a place for you to sign it, and you need to make sure that all of the blanks are filled in. That's the way that the TESS office is able to keep track that you've completed this field experience, which you have to graduate. So make sure that every box of that teacher evaluation form is filled in. The other thing that you'll be turning in this week is, or before December 7th, I should say, is your observation log. Make sure everything is filled out on that. Make sure that it shows at least your 15 hours. That's very important. And make sure that both you and the classroom teacher have signed that prior to uploading. That's very important. I will then, once they're uploaded, I will take the process of getting them over to the TESS office to make sure those are in your graduation check file. So making sure you've got all that done. Content-wise this week, we're going to be looking at the idea of teacher preparation and planning. So when I first started teaching, we really were able to teach a lot of the things that we loved. If you were a teacher who loved teaching penguins, you were able to just teach a unit on penguins. If you really loved a particular children's book, you were able to teach that book and just say, yay, I love this book. If you had a particular topic, you used to be able to go to a teacher store and buy all of these little paperback books that were units. And so you could do a unit on chocolate, you could do a unit on popcorn. That's really gone by the wayside for favor of standards. In some ways, that's probably an improvement, making sure that children have all of the standards that they need. In other ways, it has cut down on teachers' ability to have some autonomy in their classroom and to be able to choose what types of things they want their children to learn. Teachers still, of course, have the autonomy to add their own spin and be creative and meet their learners' needs, but there definitely has been a change in the way that curriculum is dictated. So you may walk into a district that hands you a curriculum guide. I know that in my very first job, I was handed a curriculum guide that said, this is what you're supposed to be teaching on this day with these learners, and we want all the third grades to be on exactly that same page. That works out really well until you meet your students and you realize that your students need to be in a different place and that maybe your class of third graders is not ready to be in the same place as a colleague's class of third graders. And so ultimately, no matter what the curriculum guide says, you need to understand your children. You need to assess your children, figure out where your children are, and teach based on what they need, which can be a hard thing to learn how to do, but that's something that throughout the rest of your courses, you'll get a little bit more practice in learning how to do that. So today in the PowerPoint, you're going to be reading through some things about the Common Core. There's a video clip for you to watch about the Common Core. There's also a link to the Missouri Learning Standards. In Missouri, they've taken the Common Core and not fully adopted it. They've adopted it and changed it to the Missouri Learning Standards. The same thing was done in Iowa. Iowa has the Iowa Core that was written, and so states are not required to adopt the Common Core. Some have adopted it and modified it in different ways. So the whole point of today is just to kind of get you that feeling of how does a teacher walk into the classroom every year and know what he or she is supposed to teach? Where does that come from? How do they know what's out there for them to do? So I hope after getting this very, very, very brief introduction to those concepts, you'll be more ready for your additional classes as they come and be able to really have a firm grasp of where that standards-based teaching comes from. So I hope you enjoyed the class. I believe that course evaluations are probably up and out. If you want to go ahead and take care of those. I also do want to apologize. The module that I thought got unlocked did not get unlocked. So if you weren't able to put something in a Dropbox, please feel free to go ahead and do that now. And otherwise, it's been really fun to teach this online course with you. I've really enjoyed watching your interactions and reading them. That's been really enjoyable for me. So I hope you have a really blessed holiday season. And if there's anything that I can do to help as you finish up, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you so much and have a great rest of your term.